Oh my god, it's actually working. Yeah, this is good. I can actually like tilt to move around. This is exciting. Okay, it is, I don't know if I've ever had the opportunity of saying this ever in my life, and I hope I get this opportunity again, but I'm just gonna savor this moment while it exists. Thank you to LEGO for sponsoring this video. I am just gonna tick that off the bucket list real quick. Okay, great. Let's start, shall we? All right, so I got an email from LEGO a little while ago asking if I would like to build some LEGO for a video. And I said, yes, I would love to. They sent me 4 of the helmets from the LEGO Star Wars helmet collection. We've got the Scout Trooper, the TIE Fighter pilot, Darth Vader himself, and your boy Boba Fett. Your boy Boba Fett. They asked me if I'd like to build all these sets on video, and also turn one of them into a controller to play LEGO Star Wars games. Who would say no to that? Not me. I said yes to that immediately, and here we are. I got it. It's exciting. I'm really happy about this. This is like a dream for me. I don't get the opportunity to build with LEGO often. Like, I don't take time to sit down and just like make something nice. So this is gonna be like really kind of relaxing. I'm really looking forward to it. But these all look incredible. They are like super, super high quality. The detail on them is insane. They'll look really nice on the shelf when they're done, no doubt about that. And then we'll pick our favorite one and go from there and turn it into a controller. I want to try and build a controller in a way so that it doesn't look different once it's made. I still want it to look like it's not a controller, if that makes sense. And then sort of pick it up and be like, oh, surprise, here's a USB cord that you can attach into, and then suddenly you're playing video games. All right, so first off is Scout Trooper. This is the smallest one out of the 4 of them in terms of pieces, about 470. Still like really incredibly high detail, even for it being the smallest out of the 4. Really, really excited to see how this turns out. I reckon it'd be really cool. My favorite thing about the Scout Trooper helmet is just the fact that it looks so very clearly inspired by like motocross helmets and stuff like that. Like, it looks like the helmet of a guy on a bike, or a land speeder, if you will. And with the LEGO, they bring that feeling across so incredibly well. There's so many small details, like the little sort of air holes on the sides, and the actual kind of like mask piece on the very front that sort of is the breathing apparatus, I suppose you could say, and the goggles in the front as well. They managed to capture all those different elements incredibly well with this piece. It looks absolutely amazing. Alright, now next up is the TIE Fighter pilot, which I think might be just the most intimidating one out of the lot of them. I just love how imposing he looks with his tubes coming out of his helmet. Like the big imposing visor and everything, it just looks menacing, and it's really, really sick to look at. I love it. So even though this isn't the biggest one, it's got 724 pieces. Darth Vader's bigger. But I think technically this is possibly the most sort of complex looking one, just because of all those extra parts like the tubes out the front and all the kind of piping that goes into that. The amount of intricacy that they've put into them is absolutely incredible. Like, they made these things as perfectly as they could have. And because they made it perfectly, that means I made it perfectly too. And that's really exciting. And of course, what set about LEGO Star Wars helmets would be complete without the main helmet himself, Darth Vader? Now, this is the biggest one in the set. This is 800 pieces. One thing I've been enjoying building all these things is just like how kind of very relaxing it is, and how mindful it is to actually just sit there and just follow a nice instruction book and put all the things together. So thank you, LEGO, for letting me actually relax for once. I think out of, like, technically speaking, out of all of these different helmets, I think Darth Vader might be my favorite in terms of just the small details about what makes him really, like, stand out, as this is definitely Darth Vader, right? Things like the little eyebrow arches that you have above his eyes there, and then, like, that big thick band that goes around the top of his head all the way down to the back of the helmet, and then that sort of iconic breathing apparatus that he has out the front. The people who design these sets don't get enough credit. They're just absolutely amazing to look at. And then last, but by absolutely no means least, we got Boba Fett, who just quietly is my favorite character in the original series by a mile. He's just cool looking. Absolutely iconic. They absolutely crushed it. It looks so good. I think my favorite part about this is that they put in details that they really didn't even have to. Like, if you look at the top of the helmet, you'll notice there's a little bit of like battle damage there where it's gray as opposed to the green. So it kind of looks like there's a bit of a scrape there. If you see pictures of the actual helmet, you know, you'll obviously see it's been like scuffed and scraped and stuff. And they put a little bit of that into it, which I thought was a really nice touch. Like they absolutely didn't have to do all these like little details, but the fact that they've gone through and put them all in pretty much every one of these sets just shows you how much love and attention they've put into these, and it really, really shows. It's absolutely amazing. That was probably some of the most therapeutic 12 hours I've taken to just sit there and put Lego together. It's been a really nice weekend. I'm very happy. And now we've got 4 very beautiful helmets to look at that I'm going to very happily put on my wall when we're done. Wall? Shelf. I'll put them on the shelf. They're not really designed to go on the wall directly, but a shelf sits on the wall. You get what I mean. Anyway, we're going to turn one of these into a controller. Which one? Now, the important factor here is the way that these things are structured on the inside, because we're going to need to fit controls and components inside one of these helmets. So we need to choose the one that gives us the most room to do that. And I'm really happy about this because he's my favorite, but the one with the sort of most allowance to let us do that is our boy Boba Fett. So this is the one we're going to turn into a controller today, and I'm really, really happy because Boba Fett's my favorite. He's just the best. He's so cool all the time. Tim Morrison. We're going to be playing Lego Star Wars with this. We're going to be playing Force Awakens because that's what I happen to have right now. But, you know, most Lego Star Wars games are pretty similar to each other in the sense of how they're controlled, right? Pretty much just by using one thumbstick and then ABXY to do most of the things you need to do. So those are the commands we're going to put into the controller. Ultimately, my goal is to make this into a controller without it looking like it's a controller, because I want it to still look really, really pretty. What I'm going to use is a little Arduino, which is going to be the main brains of the controller. That's going to be connected to a motion sensor, which is going to detect the tilt of Boba Fett's head, whether that's forward or back, or left or right. So depending on how we're leaning, we're going to be able to control our movement sort of forward, back, left, right as we go. And then for the buttons, what I'm going to do is instead of just adding sort of standard push buttons to be able to do things, which again, they're not as clunky as a thumbstick, but they can still look a bit ugly because they don't look like they belong on, you know, something made of Lego. But one thing we can do is we can actually use touch sensors to do the same thing. So instead of having a big old button, you just have like a little sort of conductive piece of metal that you can touch, and then that will trigger an input and then send that to the game. The end goal is that this will look exactly the same, but it might have a little USB cord hanging out the bottom. Other than that, it'll look exactly like a controller and it'll function just like it should to be able to play Lego. So I'm pretty keen to see how that turns out. Hopefully it works. Okay, first things first, we're going to very carefully dismantle this helmet so that we can easily put it back together later. So then the next thing we're going to do is get our Arduino microcontroller and then our motion sensor. We're going to connect them together, and then we're going to try and find some places inside the helmet that we can attach them to so that they'll stay nice and secure. And then the next objective is to solder out 4 capacitive touch sensors. So these are going to be our buttons that we'll use for ABXY, and then I'm going to try and put them on the back of the helmet. So since we're not going to be using a thumbstick, we've got 2 thumbs free. So I can essentially put the 4 buttons across the 2 halves of the head, if you're thinking about it sort of left and right. We can put those across there so that I can use 2 thumbs for doing all the different ABXY buttons while just tilting the head for the movement. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do the scene from Force Awakens where they're flying the Millennium Falcon around Jakku. I know it's not Boba Fett or Slave One, but in order to unlock either of those characters, it's really, really hard. And I've not gotten that far in the game yet, so that's what we're going to do for now. Now you can see that the movement's actually working pretty good. So if I tilt forward, then Rey moves backwards, and tilt up, then she moves forwards, and then left and right. The reason I have the forward and back working this way is because it makes the Millennium Falcon flying way easier. And I should be able to grab this thing and then pull it back. Nice. That's kind of working. This is really exciting. That's bloody good. All right, now I gotta see if we can shoot things as well, because I gotta clear all these guys out of the Falcon. Hang on, here we go. It's a little bit weird because I use inverted controls when I fly the Millennium Falcon, but not when I run around normally. So my instinct is to tilt the thing forward to move forward, and vice versa. But I can't do that here, so it's a bit Bit strange, but that's fine. It's fine. It's usable. That's the exciting thing. It's usable. All right, here we go. Oh my god, it's actually working. Yeah, this is good. I can actually like tilt to move around. This is exciting. Okay. And then X should be our laser button. Oh god, I gotta be... Uh-oh. Hang on. Uh-oh. I gotta be really careful not to hit stuff, because it is really easy to hit stuff. Oh, I gotta shoot all the debris out of the way. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. Because the, you know, tilt sensors are pretty great and all, but they're not the most well-refined control systems out there. I mean, they work for games that they're designed for sometimes. They don't always work, especially when you're trying to shoehorn them into a game that doesn't actually have support for them. And that right there is my favorite shot out of Force Awakens. It's just so good. I love it. It's great. This kind of works alright though. This is pretty damn good. Oh. Although trying to get around to where the enemies are is a bit tricky. I think also staying stable is very tricky as well. Hang on. Let's see if we can keep a steady shot on one of these guys. You right there. Oh, there we go. There's two. And three. And uh-oh. And wait. Oh my god. It's a hell of a lot of fun, I gotta say. This is really, really good. There we go. Only one left. Come on, we can pull this off. Oh, no. There we go. Nailed it. And that's how you fly a oh wait, oh we're not done. Okay, never mind. I was about to say, that's how you fly a Corellian freighter when you're a Mandalorian, but we're not out of the woods yet. Oh, uh-oh. Hang on, Boba Fett's little piece of his mask came off. There we go. Clearly the controller is not quite designed for controller work. You know, it is obviously a lovely, nice ornament for the shelf, but that's alright. I think it held up pretty good, all things considered. I think that's excellent controller building on your behalf there, Lego. Well done designing this fantastic controller. And now I can put it on the shelf and look at it very nicely the way that we're meant to. Alright, I'm just going to put him back on his little pedestal here, and then I can find a nice wee place to put him on display for posterity. I think these are going to look actually pretty good on the shelf. Alright, well that's about it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. And thank you to LEGO again for sponsoring the video. I am still amazed that I get to say that, but I'm very happy to be able to. If you want to get one of these helmets for yourselves, go have a look. The LEGO Star Wars Helmet Collection. You can find all of these available and more as well, which is pretty exciting. So go get one for yourself, yeah? Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.